so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Two Guys and a Goalie. Thank you very much for joining us today. As always, Two Guys is brought to you by GS Construction, where they are not only hiring now, they are hiring all the time, setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, and safety driving their success. GS Construction has a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of the team. Visit www.gsconstruction.ca and click Ready to Work, or visit their page at indeed.ca. And with the Next Up Person program at GS Construction, it's not just a job, it is a career. If you're watching over on YouTube today here for Two Guys and Goalie, smash the thumbs up, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and feel free to hit us up in the comments section. If you are listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com today, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, and we're already got some movement kicking around over in the inbox, so that's good to see. Oh, look who it is! It's Mr. Teams 2 and 4 in the F1 standings right now. Matt Kassian. Kass, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I like what I've done so far.
Brendan, we got an echo on Kass there. Just 1 sec, Kass. Kate, you're good to go. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. I like what my F1 teams have done. I've been happy with the results so far, and just look forward to just driving onward and upward. I clearly am the smartest person about F1 in the EST community, or one of the smartest people with it, because I just pay so much attention to it. And I know every little thing about all the cars and all the drivers. And
I think you have cheated the system somehow. Like that's what I like. I mean, and Barry. So you guys bring in Barry. Horrible decision, Gage.
Horrible decision.
You bring in the greatest F1 mind of all time. He's in first and third. Kass is in second.
First and third, but he burned his limitless chips already.
Yeah, he might have made a huge mistake.
So because I was wondering. Remember, I texted you a screen cap. I was like, "What is this? How's this guy have all the good guys in his lineup?" And so you get one limitless chip to pick the weekend and then pick the 5 guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean that because he got like 300 points for that one race or something. Yeah. Like okay.
So and like that's. Yeah, bold strategy, Cotton. That's what I'll say with that. But no, he's done well. He knows what he's doing. I see what he's the teams he's picked. They're strong. But I think just with Kass and Barry, they're the Greg Normans of the group. You know, they stay on top for a while, and we'll see what happens down the final stretch here. There's a lot of racing to go.
There is a lot of racing.
I think one of my teams is actually ahead of both of your teams.
Oh yeah.
What's going on with you, Gager?
It's we haven't found the performance in the cars yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, are you bringing upgrades?
Oh, I've been mixing and matching. I've actually had to take penalties. Like basically, if I was to equate it, I've taken the limit of power units and had to take. And drop my points down. I probably would have been a lot better if I didn't have to adjust my teams. So look for my teams to start edging their way, hopefully closer to the top 10 here over the next few weeks.
All right. It is Two Guys and a Goalie. We are presented to you by GS Construction. 780-218-9999. 99-99. The Oilers losing to the Los Angeles Kings last night. I said not only were they missing like 40% of the roster, they were missing the good 40% of the roster. You know, like a bunch of really key contributors not able to go last night for the Oilers. The game basically, I thought, kind of went as expected. Darnell Nurse is expecting to have a hearing with NHL player safety later on today for the cross-check to the head of Quinton Byfield on Monday night. Kass, heard you talking about it a little bit on the post game last night when I was driving home from the game that I went to with our friend Damon Bunting. What a beauty. I don't think the hearing is surprising anybody. Your thoughts on what might come out of this hearing, though?
Yeah, well, you know what? I went to bed thinking one thing, and now I'm thinking another.
Okay.
I went to bed thinking it's probably going to be one game. I don't think it wasn't egregious, horrible, awful. That's how I went to bed. I'm like, it's going to be one game. Fine. Deal with it. It should be one game. That's all right. Now, I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a report that came out today. I don't know if you guys talked about it on Chris Simon, and posthumously being diagnosed with a very high level of CTE in his brain, and Gary Bettman having to defend, saying, the causality and association is not causality, and that whole spiel on brain injuries. And my thought this morning was that with that coming out, the league could transition, even if it's not major damage control, into a mindset of, hey, we have to show and prove that we are taking head injuries and this sort of thing seriously. And they may throw the book at Darnell Nurse as being a repeat offender, which means you could get 2 games. And the reason I would say 2 is that would equate to like a 3-game suspension.
Like a couple of playoff games. Yeah, like one playoff game equals a couple of other
so like
games.
a 3 suspension for that. Yep. So I'm thinking they give him 1 regular season and 1 playoff game, which could be completely disastrous for the Edmonton Oilers because, depending on how Wallman's at, like that's the entire left side of your defense gone. So that's my thought, anyways. And you guys, it's
an interesting theory. I mean, it's an interesting theory. I mean, just a dumb play. Like Byfield's already done. The play's over, and you look down at him and give him like it's an unnecessary shot. I mean, Gage is just stupid. I mean, it was a stupid play by Darnell Nurse. Like,
it's terrible to think, but I'm thinking of that play against the Vegas Golden Knights years ago, like running in there last couple minutes and taking the match, or was it? No, the game misconduct, right? Yeah. So it's automatic.
The late instigator,
Yeah, and you already knew you had probably had Pietrangelo out the next game. Just a brain cramp, completely unnecessary. That's fine. Game 20, game 50, but 2 games before the playoffs doesn't make any sense to me, especially when you're looking at a depleted roster on the left-hand side of the defense. Hopefully it's 1, but like you said, Kass, I think I wouldn't. I mean, obviously, Oilers fans will go crazy if it's 2 or 3, but it warrants 2 games just with prior suspensions. They're well within their right to give Darnell Nurse 2 games for this.
So if he gets 2 games, you're like, you had it coming, man. Like,
well,
and further to that, guys, is there is no reason for the LA Kings to play Byfield.
Oh yeah,
there is every reason for them to keep him
out of the rest of that game last night. Yeah,
to say out of the game last night and out of the next 2, even if he's fine, and say he's not okay. You want to tell me that they can't go to Byfield and say, hey man, we can, the potential Darnell Nurse being suspended if you sit out this first one, and we know that you're going to sit out the next one. If he only gets 1 game, then we'll put you back in after that. But you make sure you stay out of this one. Let's try to get him suspended here. Like, you want to tell me that conversation didn't happen? It absolutely happened. Without question, it happened. They're well within their rights to try to run that as much as they can to get Darnell Nurse suspended as much as they can. And Gage, you're right. Like, I wouldn't be upset with the 2-game suspension, 1 in the playoffs. I'd be upset because of what it means for the Oilers, but I wouldn't be upset because it was something that was completely unavoidable. It's not like he was trying to make a clean hit on a guy and he just, split second decision caught him too high. It's like, no, it was just not smart. It was just a bad play.
If I'm the Kings, I have Byfield on the bench, but he's got to come out with crutches, a boot, a sling, and bandage around his head, right, all the way around. Just he's completely broken.
Yeah. I hopped on Twitter just to see some reaction to stuff, and there's this Mark thing that just pops out. This tweet from this Mark guy. It says, "This is why I love following Oilers Twitter. Byfield hasn't returned. Possible injury on intent to injure. What are we even talking about here?" And he's quote tweeting a tweet from Spec that has since been deleted. So I don't know. I don't know what Spec had said, but it was bad enough to have it to take it down at some point. So I'm not sure what that one is. I mean, it was just.
Could you have a Twitter page with Spec screenshots? Just.
I mean, that could probably be a thing. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, the reaction, obviously, depending on which side of this you're on, is kind of as expected. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Inbox seems to be a little slow right now, but we'll try to get that going. Let's hop over into the nasty chat to discuss this one. X-Ray J says there is zero chance Byfield is in the Kings lineup tonight. I'd wager good money Nurse will get 2 games, including in game 1 of the playoffs. David W says that cross-check to Byfield's head was stupid, vicious, dangerous, and totally unnecessary. I don't know if he was meaning to do Jackie Childs, but I decided to. Given this, it would have been incredibly stupid for the NHL Player Safety Department to not require Nurse to attend a hearing. Nick Sun says Susie got 1 game for cross-checking McDavid in the face, right? Byfield has an upper body injury. Yes, we discussed that. KD, aka Dylan Holloway lover, says dumb play, but that's a 2 out of 10 on the violence scale, I think is what he was. I think I'd probably had a little bit higher than a 2 out of 10. Yeah. I mean, Byfield's laying on the ice in front of you, completely defenseless, and you'd already taken him down and missed him on a cross-check first when you sort of kind of grappled him and took him down, and then you look at him and go, boop. I mean, it's a 10 on the dumb scale. I don't know where it is on the violence scale.
I always like the real life test in that. Like if someone's lying on the ground on the sidewalk and you do that, you're probably going to prison, right? At least overnight.
Just for at least check in and then you get bail.
Yeah.
And then you see where it goes from there.
Like bail's, how expensive is bail? Like if you're done on Nurse, you're getting out, but yeah.
Here's a question. How much bail could you afford right now, do you think? Like if somebody's like, hey, get out of jail, it's going to be $50,000.
That's a question I'm going to have to ask my partner when he gets back. How much would he put up to get me out of prison?
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one for Nancy.
That's what I'm going to ask him.
Not much. I'm just going to tell you, it's not going to be much. I would hope my parents would be willing to drop like $50,000 to get me out of jail.
I would think. I wouldn't. And I tell you why I wouldn't.
Because you
need
wouldn't?
to learn your lesson. You need to learn your lesson.
But I learned my lesson by going behind bars, right? Like, time to smarten up.
Learn it better. Yeah, learn it better. You need to really learn this.
I don't even have anything cool I could pawn off to get that type of money. Like
all that LeBron stuff?
I'm not partnering with that.
Okay, so what happens if you're in prison and the only way is for your family to get rid of all the LeBron stuff?
I'll see you in 2 to 5. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to regather up all this stuff? Like, no way.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, I've always thought about like in prison starting a fantasy league, like doing fun stuff in prison, right? Prison probably needs a bit of a pick-me-up. I feel like I could probably provide that for people. So I take I've got an autographed photo of the guy, like a nice one. Like it's not happening. I have like the Chosen One Sports Illustrated cover graded like 9.8. I'd rather do some hard time than move for that stuff.
Damn, you can sell it. It's okay.
No, you can't. All right, 780-218-9999. Okay, Troll is bringing up an interesting point. just on the facts, Kass, how much do you think they take into it that he did get a game misconduct midway through the game? So he sat half a game already. Do you think that factors in to the hearing conversation later tonight?
No, maybe. I mean, if you're the Edmonton Oilers and you're Darnell Nurse,
you're trying to use that. Yeah.
You're trying to use that to say, hey, he got half a game already. But I think they're going to look at that and say, well, the reason he did it was because the game was already over from the league standpoint, right? They're going to say, oh, that game was probably done. And that's what led into it. Your frustration that the game was probably done and you were losing. That's going to be the Edmonton Oilers angle from it. And their argument for one game is going to be, hey, we already sat half a game for this. But the flip side, the league is probably going to look at this and say, well, should still sit one more. And the repeat offender thing is huge.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's had a suspension for headbutting. He's bad. He had a suspension. Now the instigating one, I think they may view that a little differently because that's like the automatic 1 game suspension, right? Like it's not.
Yeah, but if you're not a repeat offender and you do what he did last night, that's probably getting you a game.
That's probably 1 game.
So being a repeat offender, maybe he is suspended for game 1. Gager.
I think he is, guys. That's what I'm saying. And in the CTE thing, like with that, I think that adds to it because they're going to want to show that, they take head stuff seriously. And that's an unfortunate timing, I think, for Edmonton, but that's what it is, guys.
I'm sorry. This is a great one from Spency 5 cents. I can see Dusty going full OJ, reclaiming his LeBron memorabilia if he gets pawned. Dusty down in Florida. Just saying.
I didn't do it the first time, but I'm going to need my stuff.
I'm sorry. But yeah, I really see it 2 games. I don't know why. Like it was vicious. It's vicious, man. It's a vicious play. And what did Button say? It's not a hockey play.
I don't remember what Button said because I was so furious we couldn't get his camera connected properly. Okay. So I totally blacked out for 15 minutes with Button today. But yeah, that one's. Kass, like, do you think in that situation, Nurse is thinking we're about to play these guys? Byfield's been great lately. I'm not going to say this is my chance to hurt him, but like, I'm trying to figure out what was Nurse thinking.
I think he was just frustrated.
At that time.
I think he was just frustrated, right? I think he was just frustrated. Now
you're getting pumped.
Yeah, you're getting pumped. You're getting frustrated. The emotions erupt. You have a lot of guys hurt, and you're just like, I'm going to stick it to this guy. And you just do something that you shouldn't have done. And I mean, Darnell Nurse has been so good. Been so good.
How about that little? He turned on the afterburners there and got some daylight. Got in all alone. That was something else. If only he could have scored there. That would have been great. But yeah, I mean, I think part of it's frustration. Probably 80% frustration, 20%. This is one of the Kings' really good players. Why not just take a shot at him? Why not?
I mean, if Darnell Nurse misses game 1, but Byfield misses more games, brilliant move. That's how it'll be. That's how it'll be viewed. Yeah. All right, 780-218-9999. Darren Emerson says, I didn't think it was as bad as it looked. Dumb. Yes. Yeah, you know what? I was listening to the postgame coming home, Kass, and obviously at the rink, they didn't give us a bunch of good looks. So I'm listening to you guys on the postgame. And then I got home, and the best view of it is from inside the net cam view. That's the one where you're like, okay, let's see what happens here. I might be stretching here a little bit, but did it kind of look like a bit of a glancing blow off the helmet? Like
it was, like I'm saying, it wasn't like horrible, awful. Like it was just as much a push as it was a cross check.
Yeah, like a hybrid of the two, kind of like.
Right. But you're still pushing a guy's head into the ice in plain view of the referee when he is defenseless. You have a past history, and now you have a player that's saying he's hurt.
It does list him as day-to-day right now.
Yeah, of
he's
course.
Not gonna play tonight. Why would he play tonight?
Oh yeah.
No, there's no reason to play tonight anyway.
Yeah, and so he's not playing tonight. Yeah, miss a game, eat some popcorn, have a hot dog in the stands, go home early, say your head hurts, have a good sleep. Wake up the next day to see Darnell Nurse suspended 2 games and laugh. Like that's what you're gonna see.
This is totally me using like hockey jargon that hasn't been invented, but I'm going to refer to it as a partially glancing blow. A PCB. It was a PCB. And I don't know what that. So over or under 35 and a half minutes for Kulak in game 1.
Yeah.
Like if if Nurse can't go in game 1, Dineen or Brown are playing for you in game 1 of the Stanley Cup final.
Oof.
Which is not ideal. And that's assuming Wallman and Stetcher are both good to go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, boneheaded play by Nurse if he ends up missing a playoff game. That's not going to be a good look. If for some reason they give him 3 games, this city will implode before the series begins. Before the season even begins.
James D has a good point. Why didn't Gudas get anything for that headshot on Perry?
That just fell under the radar.
That
right?
was pretty vicious, I thought. Like he targeted the head there. Not that Darnell didn't.
Non-playoff team.
Yeah.
Perry didn't stay down.
All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Bobby LaFrench texts in and says, guys, is this really 2 games worse than broken orbital punch to a guy on the ice? Kass, what did you see that?
Yeah.
What did you think as a guy who scrapped for a living in the NHL? What did you think of, I mean, the linesman who was just about to get in there, kind of got in right before him. What did you think of that? And I mean, the reaction of it was as expected from both sides of the conversation. Yeah. But what did you think of that play?
Yeah, I hated it. I mean, to me, it's like, and the reason I hated that for me is like, he's down, you're down. Why are you throwing punches on the ice? And to me, it's a mutual respect thing in that, where it's like you want to know that if you were in that position, a guy wouldn't take advantage of you in that regard. Like you got to draw the line somewhere. And so to me, yeah, I don't like it. Guys, like sometimes things happen quickly. I get that, but that was like they were already down, they were already tied up, and then you throw that one last extra one, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, do you see that, Gage?
That's the Forbert one.
Yeah. Forbert took the shot to the face area.
Yeah.
I mean, right on the button.
Yeah,
right.
That's vicious. Yeah, when you go down, like you really had him in a vulnerable position there too. Yeah, that's nasty.
Yep.
All right, 780-218-9999. We will get into more of your text messages so that you can get a hold of us. If you're watching over on YouTube today, smash the thumbs up for us if you won't mind, and sub to the channel if you haven't already. EST Afternoons coming up with Gager and Matty Wannick in about 35 minutes time. Big Maple talking about things I could sell to get bail money. Hey, Dusty, at least sell that Trevor Lawrence rookie collection to feed the parking meter for Tam at the trial. It's a gentleman thing to do. Yeah, that was, I'm talking with 2 financial guys here. One of you should have stepped in after I'd bought about 70 Trevor Lawrence rookies and been like, Dusty, we can use this money somewhere else.
No, I like you doing all this because you're my cautionary tale to normal people. This guy's broke in jail, and they had to sell all his LeBron stuff.
You should probably invest. That would suck. I mean, I joke about starting a fantasy league in jail, but I really don't want to go to prison. Yeah, I really don't. All right. Okay. Anything. So I threw this question out earlier. Let's get into this right now. So the others have been banged up. We'll see what their health status is. It hasn't been ideal. It's not like they've been on fire down the stretch here with the whole lineup together. The Los Angeles Kings are a great team at home. That could be another thing that you're concerned about. But Gager, is Darcy Kemper the biggest? Should Darcy Kemper be the biggest concern for Oilers fans heading into this series, or should it be the health of the team? Should it be, not having Ekholm probably be up there as well? So what would you say is the biggest concern for Oilers fans heading into yet another matchup against the Los Angeles Kings?
Okay. I mean, the big 2, it's injuries, but yeah, I do believe that the biggest concern is the LA Kings have finally got someone in net that's a difference maker. Oh, you look at their Achilles heel over the last few times playing against them in the playoffs has been goaltending. They've been the Edmonton Oilers goaltending has been far superior than the than the LA Kings in these past playoff series. And now you got a guy that, when we mentioned yesterday, that without the brilliance of Connor Hellebuck is probably in the discussion of winning a Vezina, and not that he'll probably be in the top 3 in voting. So this is a huge concern. He looks really good. The games that he's played against Edmonton, I remember the first game I was like, okay, how is this going to look? And I was like, oh, he's found his game, and he's done it before. They've got a Stanley Cup winning goaltender that's gone through everything and won't be rattled if things go wrong. I mean, he got injured when they did win, but he came back and played great.
He's had multiple seasons in his career with 920 save. It's not like this is like the ultimate, oh my God, he's had other really good seasons as well in different spots, right? So it's not, I guess what I'm saying is it's not a fluke year for the guy.
Look, the Kings do play a style that's beneficial to numbers for goaltenders. You look at all Talbot was an all-star, they play a more of a defensive system, but still he makes big saves when counted upon. So yeah, I think you have to worry about how generating scoring chances first, and then getting through all those layers, and how are you going to have success? It's not, if he sees it, he's going to stop it. That's bottom line. You're going to look at deflections, rebounds, and getting into the eyes.
Kass, first of all, let's start on what Gager just said. Well, no, I'll make a note on that to come back to the Kemper thing. What's the biggest concern for you as the Oilers get set to face the Kings?
The health of their defense.
Okay.
To me, Wallman's hurt. Ekholm's not going to play in the first round. Like, if you have a Wallman at 70%, Darnell Nurse suspended, Ekholm not playing, can we, if those guys were all healthy, we would still have some questions at times about the Oilers' defense, let alone those guys not even being in the lineup, and having Dineen having to play, and Brown, who hasn't played in a month and played his first game in a month, having to play. Like, to me, the health of their defense and their ability to execute because of that's, to me, the absolute biggest thing, because LA can score off the rush now. They moved to the
and the Oilers suck defending off the rush.
They suck defending off the rush with their good defensemen. So to me, that is the biggest thing for me.
Okay, so 2 takeaways for me from this conversation. One, first of all, Gager did say, you're going to have to get greasy around Kemper. Can't see things, bang things in, make life miserable for him. I don't necessarily know that's the way we would describe the Oilers team offensively. So, Kass, you think, can they adjust things for this series to get it done, I guess?
Depends on how healthy they are.
Yeah.
Is Frederick in the lineup, and is he able to get around the net? Maybe, maybe not. Is Hyman healthy and in the lineup, or healthy enough when in the lineup to get around the net?
But shouldn't it be a mindset of everybody to get around the net?
Right. But by everybody, you still need their top lines to play minutes, to try to produce an offense, to try to get the puck and get it there. So yeah, it has to be a mindset from everybody. But yeah, it's the health thing for me on the forward group too. It's so huge, and their ability to get around that net and to battle it out and to grease it out and to grind it out in front of Kemper to try to chisel some things in. As you said, they're not this season at the best of times. That wasn't their forte as a team, but you're going to have to find a way to do it here. And could the switch flip? Of course it could. Of course it could. They could be able to do that, and they could be able to get to him. But I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the series, a lot of the city's kind of nervous about this one. The other thing that I took away from our conversation about what concerns you the most heading into this series, neither of you mentioned Oilers goaltending. So, big positive. It's not at the top of the list now. It's going to be a couple of checks on the other side here for Kemper. But Gage, we asked you this morning on the Nielsen show. Last week, I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometime late last week, we asked people on the YouTube portion of the Nielsen show who you would start in game 1, and it was a 58%, 42% split in favor of Skinner. I think if we were to run that again, let's say tomorrow on the show, it would probably be more heavily leaned towards Skinner. But this morning, you weren't automatically being like, Stuart Skinner's the guy for game 1.
Well, because before last night's game, I had Pickard starting, And
last night's game, he had a B team in front of him, according to Philip Deneau.
and that's the thing. They lost. They didn't have 40% of their good players or whatever it is. But then we're all saying, well, Pickard didn't look good. He allowed 5 or whatever. And I'm just like, well, up to that point, he's been playing great. And what Stuart Skinner has put forward before his injury was mediocre. Wasn't good. The goals that, putting aside last night's performance, the goals that were being scored on Pickard were good goals generated by the other team. They had to, rebounds, deflections, things like that. So I still have Pickard starting game 1 just on the eye test. But like I said this morning, Dusty, I do think you see both Edmonton Oilers goalies, regardless of who starts game 1 in the series against the LA Kings.
Kass, I'd be stunned if your answer here isn't Stuart Skinner, right?
Yeah, you would be.
Yeah. Okay.
He's your starter. Management views him as your starter. That's why he's going to play against San Jose. The last game of the season is a tune-up. That's why he didn't play yesterday against LA. And he's your starter. And guys, if Stuart Skinner, you kind of mentioned already, if Stuart Skinner let in those same 5 goals, he would have got shredded on 4 of them. He would have got shredded on 4 of them. They would have looked at 4 of those goals and said, Stuart Skinner's got to save that. You just needed the 1 save. You just need that save too. You just need that save too. You just need that. Like, he would have got absolutely roasted on every single one of them. Every single one. Actually, it may not even be 4. He may have got roasted on all 5. They would have been like Vogel's. I mean, he's got to get back to his post. No lateral movement. No lateral movement. Got to get back to his post. Seam play to Fiala. No lateral movement. Got to push across. Got to make that save. That's a savable puck. They would have absolutely done it. Like, Pickard has played very well. He's made it way easier if Skinner does struggle to switch out, which is, I think, what will happen. He's played way better for that. But Stuart Skinner is your starter. And that's not even me just liking Stuart Skinner as their starter. That's how the team views him. That's how management views him. He is your starter. He will start against the LA Kings.
I part of me was like, I wonder if Oilers fans would have given Skinner a bit of a pass because of the team in front of him last night, but in the end, they wouldn't have.
Because he's supposed to be.
Ace 96 would have been losing his mind in the post-game chat.
Why didn't you steal him that game? Yeah, he's going to steal him that game. He hasn't stolen a game.
It's a perfect opportunity to steal a game, to goalie the Kings.
Their best scoring chance was the Kings just kind of letting Darnell Nurse get in on a breakaway, and that was it. Like, there really wasn't too much else going on there last night. So with no Connor McDavid in the lineup last night, he is expected to play against San Jose, looking to get to 100 points. Gager, you wouldn't play him against San Jose?
No.
Nah, I wouldn't either.
Why?
There's no, what happens if, anything could happen. I mean, you see what happened to Ehlers?
Yeah.
Skated backwards into an official. He's going to be out week to week.
It's irresponsible. Do that. Call up Bakersfield.
Just play him on the power play. Play him on the power play. Let him get us 100 points, and then don't.
And then that's it.
And then watch Bouchard hit him in the ankle.
That would be the best way to sum up the entire season.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? Oh, boy.
Oh, that would be a tough pill to swallow.
I'm sorry I said that.
Yeah, you shouldn't. If that happens now, you're a dead man.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about Stoff choking you out like
Red Deer, here I come.
Okay, so we'll see what happens with McDavid against the Sharks, but I'm pretty sure they're expecting him to play. Who are his wingers to start the playoffs, do you think?
McDavid?
Yeah.
Gosh, I did kind of like the Skinner-Brown combination. They looked like they had something.
It could allow you to play Hyman with Nuge and maybe Kane if he's healthy for game 1.
Yeah.
Which, that would be the best third line they've had all season, Kass.
Yeah, or Frederick.
Whichever one of those guys play game 1.
Whichever one's back. Yeah, I absolutely would do that, guys.
Do you think it's more to go back to where it was, but that's the That's the arrow in the quiver that Knobloch goes to get things going.
Well, the first arrow in the quiver is McDavid and Draisaitl together. Nobody else plays. Okay. Second arrow in the quiver could maybe be going back to but I think it's been working really well.
It's a forecheck. What the reason, like they've got turnovers in the offensive zone that have resulted in not only scoring chances, but goals. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the first time you've kind of seen that on a consistent basis from a group of players. I've got time to start with it for sure. You're going to have Jeff Skinner first playoff game. He's going to be juiced, right? You'll probably get a little bit more juice from that orange. And Brown's scoring. Connor's flying all around the zone. I think that creates problems for teams.
I love, like, I like that line. It's good enough that I'm like, oh yeah, that line will do. But then I like what it provides you further down the line, because you can leave Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Arvidsson. Draisaitl likes playing with Podkolzin. Arvidsson's been playing well. And then think about it to start the playoffs against a Kings team that'll be rolling out Deneau, Trevor Moore, and Fogle on their third line. You're like, hey, here's Nuge, Hyman, and one of Kane or Frederick.
Yeah.
I like that. But
I love
you
it.
guys are neglecting something here. Is that Skinner is going to be scratched to make sure the Kapanen can play.
No.
He can't. Like,
Kapanen's got to play. He is the linchpin. He is the key.
Because let's just say, so if they lay out the 9 like we said, then your fourth line is Henrique, Janmark, and Perry. So, in what world does Kapanen get into that roster? In that lineup? There's no way.
I don't know how Kapanen
every time
doesn't have a shot collar on him, and Knobloch has the button, and if he gets to the red line and doesn't dump it,
hit the button and dump it.
And dump it in, because he just gives the puck away
just
3 feet inside the blue line, almost.
That one was so bad yesterday, Gager.
Oh my God, that was like he did a speed wobble. He speed wobbled into the defenseman too. Like, get the thing deep, man. Come on.
Yeah, the speed wobble wasn't a good look. You're like, oh, man. And their power play sucks without the big boys. But these guys never really have a chance to play. So that's why, last night's game, you're like, whatever's going to happen. 780-218-9999. PJ over in the chat there, Pat says, if Byfield did the same thing to McDavid, what Nurse did to him, you would all be calling for his head right now.
Of course we would.
Yeah, man. That's how markets work, PJ. I did think that last night when I was listening to the post-game show driving home. I was just like, man, what if this was on McDavid? What would we be saying?
Oh, yeah.
Big Dave is in. It says Bouchard hits McDavid in the ankle. Oilers drop out in the first round. Bouchard gets $11 million paycheck. That sounds pretty Oilers to me. The troll says, I agree with Kass. Play McDavid on the power play. Get the 100th point. Brandon is in and says 100 points is important. Play him, guys.
Oh, come on. Are we really talking about 100 points here? If that's our biggest concern, is what are you doing? It doesn't matter. He's not. Look, he's going to finish with a ton of them anyways. Stop it. He's not
would
catching
be his fifth consecutive 100 point season.
I don't care about that. If he cares about that,
I don't think he does. I mean, they didn't play him because it was a back-to-back, right? So, I mean, I would think a little bit more rest. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like, it's like you golfing today. I'd say go home and have a nap, but you're out there. You're Connor McDavid.
That would be the wiser decision. But I really want to, after you sit there and watch the Masters, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go golf. The ranch is opening today. I know it's gonna be like a little windy later on.
Just hit the ball a notch lower on the club.
I was joking today. Like, I'm gonna come home from golf. Tam's cool. Like, don't be wrong, but if I come home and I'm like dead to the world, she's just gonna be like death stare me. And I said I was gonna be like Kramer coming home after he got beat up at the AIDS walk. Like, you're just like, and she's just, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But it's exciting to get out here, and I won't have a chance to golf a ton like on these types of days. So I was like, you know what, let's do it. All right. Hey, let's talk about the officiating last night. We haven't got there yet because I was just looking. I threw it out on Twitter a little bit earlier. Your biggest concern for the Oilers, like we were discussing, and Swap over on Twitter says goaltending on both sides. So the good with Kemper and the unknown with the Oilers. And then he said the refs as well. Kass, do you think the refs were calling everything last night as a preemptive strike deterrent for game one of this series, or what? Because I thought they were absolutely horseshit last night.
Yeah, I don't think it was as a game one deterrent. I would think it was just as a game management deterrent. We all heard, and the Oilers did too, the intermission comments of the B squad trying to hurt us out there. And that probably was a perception going into the game for the officials too, where they probably looked at it. They looked at Edmonton's roster and say, yeah, these guys play each other in the playoffs. They played each other in the playoffs the last number of years. Could get a little chippy out there. Let's keep it tight and controlled. That's their mindset going into it. So it was all about game management by the officials in that, where they wanted to not have anything get out of control. And it still almost got out of control.
But it did. I mean, Byfield's injured. Nurse going to be suspended. Congratulations. Mission accomplished, officials. Like, I don't know. What was it? 8 power plays to 6 power plays last night? Like, there's 14 power plays in this hockey game?
It was
a lot of tic-tac stuff, man.
Yeah.
A lot of tic-tac stuff. I thought, if anything, they were ramping it up a bit, the officials, with the way, because both teams are getting so frustrated with the officials. They're like,
the fine line of trying, and it wasn't like the temperature of the game was boiling over. Usually, I don't know, Kass, I remember when the refs kind of thought that the game was getting out of hand, right? Then they would call a penalty, but they would wait. Like, it would take forever for them to call this penalty, it was almost like a timeout and letting everything kind of cool down before they drop the puck again. And it seemed like they just wanted, you know what, we're going to call everything, and hopefully we can just get through this without these guys tearing each other apart here. And they had the opposite effect. Weird game. Very odd. Like I said this morning, Dusty, it's like they got paid by the penalty last night.
I thought there was 2 incidents in the game last night where the whistle was blown for a penalty, and Bunting and I thought it was the other guy who was getting it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, I can't believe they called that against the Oilers. And then the King is skating to the box, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I mean, we'll see what happens there. But I understand the concern about refs in the playoffs. 780-218-9999, or over on the nasty chat, the Dr. Carpy over there. Not sure I've heard that name before, but it's funny how the league that criticizes load management is now load managing. And a lot of people, hockey fans, will criticize the NBA for load management. And it does happen a little bit earlier in the season. But I mean, this is what you should do. If you have meaningless games like the Golden Knights tonight, it's a nothing game. Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Noah Hannafin, Pietrangelo, and Aiden Hill are not playing tonight for Vegas. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no reason to give them an extra chance to get hurt before the playoffs.
Yeah, this isn't game 28, and we're going to leave some guys out.
Or it's a back-to-back.
I don't look at this as game. These guys start one of the quest for one of the hardest trophies in professional sports to win inside a week. Any type of rest, recuperation that you can provide for them, you take at this point. This isn't load management. This is getting healthy for the opportunity to hoist a Stanley Cup. It's 2 completely different things.
Yeah. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Just me that says, hey guys, what's the coupon code for buying the Oilers playoff merch from William Huff? Well, the coupon code was for yesterday up until 6 p.m. And shout out to all of you. Bruce was saying pretty much every time we mentioned it, they were getting orders over at William Huff. So I think you can still get this stuff. Just our EST 10% off code, I don't think is valid today, but you just go to williamhuff.com, click on store, and I think you can, let me just double check here right now. I think you can still get it. Is just a nice little sort of Monday push with a code for all of our people who were listening yesterday. Yeah, if you go click on store, you can still get the playoff stuff. And they'll get it in your hands as quickly as they can, so you can get fired up for the playoff run. I'm assuming it's officially Carflake season, right? Those should be popping up right away. You've clinched. You know what the matchup's going to be. Carflake season. It's time.
I've dusted off that creepy shirt with it says "Daddy likes" on it.
Yeah, the orange.
I go into the store and
Remember when you were on the jumbotron with that?
Yeah. I opened it up like Superman too. That was good. But people look at me weird when I wear that shirt.
They do. They just don't get it.
No, they don't get it.
That's tough. There's a bunch of that. Bumped into a bunch of listeners last night. It's great when you're out with a client like bunting.
Yeah.
And like people, I was just like the one guy who's pushing like the cart with all the hard liquor. He's like, Nielsen, you're the best. I was like, oh, thanks, man. And then the guy sitting right in front of us, and I thought he was getting pissed at me because my knees just don't do well at sporting events, right? So I'm sitting there, and I knew my knees were like still sort of pushing his chair a little bit. And I was like, damn it, I feel bad for this guy. Like, I hope he doesn't get mad at me. He leaned forward one time. I was like, damn, did I just hit like, the back of his head with my knee? And then I was talking to Bunton about some stuff, and I'm not a quiet talker, so I'm talking with him. And this guy like slow turns and looks back at me, and I was like,
here we go.
He goes, he must have been listening to the story because he goes, I thought it was you. I was just like, oh, nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. I didn't get his name or anything, but if he's listening, I do apologize for having my knees basically Darnell nursed into the back of your neck, back of your head the entire game. That's not tough. Bronco Nick says they interviewed Connor a bit ago. He looks angry. He's playoff ready.
Oh.
See, this is why and we'll do our official predictions for the playoffs on Thursday's show. But I don't know if I can bet against or pick against Connor and Leon against the Kings, Kass. I'm not yet at the point where I'm sure I can do that. I'll have to make a decision by Thursday, but I'm not sure I'm there.
I'm waiting to see the suspension. Like normally I would say, no, I'm not going to pick against Connor and Leon. But with the injuries they have, potentially the entire left side of your D could be gone. And you're playing against the Kings starting the series at home in LA. Like
I think they're expecting Wallman to be ready for game one and Kulak. And I guess the ultimate Cam Dineen game incoming. Depending on what happens.
I don't know. I'm nervous. I haven't decided. Can I say that right now? I haven't
You're
decided.
undecided.
I will decide by Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm undecided as of right now.
Hey, isn't it election season? How many people are undecided?
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not many. I mean, both sides have already picked their sides of this thing. All right, so the NHLPA, let's hit this. The NHLPA released their players poll for 24-25. 663 players, I think. Yeah, 663 players voted on this. Here are the results. We'll start with the best overall forward. This one I find somewhat interesting. McDavid, 73.89%. McKinnon, 9.62. So, I mean, 3/4 of the league is like, yeah, McDavid's the best overall forward. McKinnon's 9.62. Kucherov, 6.41. Crosby, 1.53%. Kaprizov, 1.3%. Other votes, or other, was 7.02%. Kass, are you not surprised that Leon Draisaitl didn't pop up somewhere in those five? I mean, he's the only guy to score 50 this year. Some people think he should be in the Selke conversation, and he's a front runner for the Hart.
Yeah. I mean, Crosby's going to get it because he's Crosby, and he probably voted for himself. Kaprizov probably voted for himself. And McKinnon, probably just guys on the Avalanche and see him every day, voted for him.
Yeah.
And that's probably.
I just find it funny that Leon's, now he's obviously somewhere in that other, had to have got a couple of votes, but
yeah,
I mean, to not be in that top five is kind of weird from a player's perspective.
But I think, like, if you go out east, they only see Connor twice and on highlights or whatever, right? So he's kind of the de facto pick, I think, with a lot of guys. They just look at the list and go, wow, it's obviously McDavid. He probably got more votes just because of the Four Nations too, right? Scoring that goal. So, yeah, but Leon should be on that list because being in this market and watching all these games, you kind of realize that Leon Draisaitl has had a better season than Connor McDavid. That's
the best overall goalie as voted by the players. Vasilevsky, 31.1%. Shesterkin, 23.58%. Hellebuck, who could win the Hart this year, is at 15.5%. Gage, are you surprised at all that I mean, Vasilevsky's Vasilevsky. Are you surprised Hellebuck's not higher up than Shesterkin?
Yeah, that's surprising because he didn't finish the season well. I mean, I'm watching highlights, so goalies never really look good on highlights. But I kind of understand the Vasilevsky thing.
Yeah, I mean, you watch Vasilevsky play the position, like he's a robot. He's a goalie robot.
It's his ability, and Hellebuck has that same thing too. But Vasilevsky just looks like he's just such a goalie. I know that sounds weird, but the way he moves and does everything, it's just perfect. It's always perfect what he does.
KB says the Connor interview has me fired up. I'm ready to run through some drywall. And Brian Gendecki over in the chat says, can't the reporters ask a question that doesn't piss the players off? I just don't think we got any good experienced reporters anymore. What like Reed Wilkins is out there. Did you watch this Connor availability, Reed? Was there a question that pissed him off or something? Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm reading the chat. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, no, maybe that's what they're talking about last night, but everyone said Connor is just fired up today. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's good to see. The best overall defenseman in the league, Cale Makar, 72%. Quinn Hughes, 7.5. Hedman Yossi. There's your guy, Yossi Kass. There he is.
Not alone.
Yossi lover.
And Adam Fox, the most complete player in the league. Crosby, 33.8%. Barkov, 31%. So that's close. Then McKinnon, then McDavid, then Matthews, then Kopitar. So I started to think Draisaitl's not going to win a Selke ever. Like for people who are like, Leon in the Selke conversation. Like, and
they just think he's in the little sidecar on the motorcycle with Connor.
Yeah, he pops up on this one. The best playmaker in the league, Kucherov, 48.2%. McDavid, 20%. Draisaitl, 6.8%. Panarin, and then Sidney Crosby as well. I mean, I got to watch Kucherov more if he's double McDavid in the playmaking category from other players.
It's pretty sick what he does, though.
But
you know what it is? Guys just don't want to say McDavid for everything.
Maybe. But did you see what he did? Kucherov did the other night. Like they were going on a 2-on-1, and the pass came to Kucherov, and he turned his stick over because he wanted the pass to go to the far side to his teammate. He turned it over so it was like a ramp, and it went up the blade over and landed softly on his teammate's stick. Like it was, and he meant to do it.
Say this again. He like guided it up over
he was getting a pass, and then so he's a left shot. Yeah. So he turned his stick over to make a ramp. So it went up his stick over and sauced it.
I'm going to have to watch this.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So for him to have the wherewithal to think about making that play, because if the pass is on the ice and he just lets it go, the D-man just picks it off.
He's on the verge of, Kucherov's on the verge of winning the Art Ross again, which would give him 3 Art Rosses in McDavid's era, which is pretty ridiculous. And this would be back-to-back Art Rosses because he won it last year with 144 points, and he's going to top 120 again this year after having 113 the year before. So, I mean, Kucherov probably deserves all the flowers that he's getting there. Do you know what's coming up on EST afternoons?
No idea.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Let's see if Gager knows it.
Okay, we got Heat and Smoke. We got Josh Lewenberg.
Yeah, this guy knows it.
Yeah, Josh Lewenberg. Talk little raps. Obviously, more Oilers talk. Probably sprinkle. I like to sprinkle a little F1 in there, but
what? Go ahead, Zach.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman.
DNB. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, wow, Lewenberg and Daniel Nugent-Bowman.
It's a big day.
That's a good show. That's a good show right there. EST afternoons will be coming up with Maddie and Gager. Then the Reed Wilkins show from 3 until 6 today. As always, Two Guys and Goalie brought to you by the Sandman and the crew over at GS Construction. You can be a part of that crew because they are hiring now. Visit their page on Indeed.ca or just go to GS Construction, scroll down, and click Ready to Work, and you get all the details on that. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction today. For Matt Kassian, Joaquin Gage, I'm Dustin Nielson. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning on The Nielson Show. Have a great afternoon and take it easy.